Okay, good morning, Cascadia Paraeducator team. Amazing group that you are. I so wish that I was there and apologize in advance. Inviting you to a meeting that I was so excited to have and then finding out kind of unexpectedly that I had to have surgery. So yeah, so anyway, I have to have surgery. So I'm out because I'm hopefully recovering and doing well. And we'll see you Monday. But anyway, coming back, I'm hoping we have a strong start, and I thought it would be a good time to review lots of different expectations and sort of get reacquainted and think about having a wonderful year again this year. You all are doing incredibly important work, and you do that work so well. And we're always thinking about growing and learning and reviewing where we were and thinking about moving forward is important. You'll also know that for our special education team, there's been some changes because our case managers, we now only have 3 instead of 4. And as part of that, we've had to shuffle some people. And so thank you for those of you that I decided to move to a different team for being flexible. We just know that we want to make sure that everyone is in the right spot and able to support our students the best we can. So here we go. A couple of things I want to make sure we talk about are celebrating. This is all about you. And those celebrations for me include things like the 5th graders. Look at little Tobin and Bela. We just sent him off to middle school and so many others, and Archer and Eckham and Matthew and Matthias. And there's Eric Flores. I mean, all the names, I could think of all the names. And so many of them, their success is because of the work you did directly to support them. And I thank you for that. And they thank you for that. Pretty lucky to have them in our school, and they were lucky to have you. Think about the communication work we've done to support Rukia with her eye gaze device, or all of our kids with the core boards, and that's you helping students understand AAC devices when they're with their classmates. It's the art for all and the joy. Look at Marcos in the ball pit. Those things happen because of your patience and willingness to adhere to schedules, to support them, as well as give them lots of opportunities for friendship. That picture of Cece and Jairo is one of my favorites because I think it really shows Cascadia, and this is who we are. And so that again is part of the work you do to help build relationships that are student to student. Thank you for doing all of that hard work and heart work. Okay, we're going to review some things. Let's first review the social emotional pieces of our students. And I just have a few that I want to make sure we talk about. And one of those I'll start with is connecting before correcting. We have been working a lot on belonging and having a sense of belonging for our students. And that connecting before correcting is super important. So letting our kids know that we care about them and that we understand they have feelings, and then we can give them a direction or some guidance. And so we want to be thinking about instead of just giving a demand, we want to acknowledge what we see. I see that you're really frustrated right now. I see you're really upset right now. I see this is really hard for you. And go ahead and do this before this. And so the if then as well. Relationship before rigor. This is a common phrase. We need to get at our kids' level and really look at them, ask them about their night, their family, their activities, how they're feeling. All those things build those relationships before we can give a demand. And sometimes a demand is even just walking through the front door. Walking through the door of the school, walking into the classroom, those are demands for some kids. And if we have a good relationship with them and we build that, they can trust us and they'll be able to do some of those things that we work towards. Also, there are lots of things coming out about people, students with ADHD, as well as other neurodivergent characteristics. And I think it's important we recognize that sometimes that rigor or that demand or that expectation can actually feel like rejection to students because we're asking them to do something that feels really impossible to them, and it feels like we're putting them on sort of a negative side. We can have those high expectations for our students, but we've got to be their cheerleaders. We've got to build those relationships so they know that we care about them and we have their best interests at heart. Also, mirror neurons, mirror neurons, mirror neurons. I think you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, but our students download our calm. So when we are calm, it helps them calm and regulate. Also, when we're joyful, they're joyful. When we're sad, they will be sad. When we're mad, they will get mad or anxious. So really think about how you're interacting with our students and making sure that you're supporting their regulation and really mirroring what you're hoping for them to be seeing and feeling. Also, I printed out an article, 5 strategies to de-escalate behavior when students are dysregulated. Thought you might be interested in reading it. I thought it was pretty great. Good reminder, and never can have too much of that in your head. Also want to think about our language. Actually, let's pause. So go ahead and pause me and see if you can have a conversation about those few reminders that I just gave. And do you have evidence of why one of those is so important, or something that you want to maybe work on this year? Okay, we're back together. So I want to remind everyone that when we're working with our students who have extensive support needs, whether they're autistic or nonverbal, or have physical limitations, we want to make sure we're supporting one another, and we want to make sure that we're using nonverbal cues. So we're nodding to one another that we're okay, we're giving each other a thumbs up that we're doing okay. And then when they get escalated, or if they get escalated, we also want to support each other, and someone needs to take charge. So someone needs to say, I'm the lead, I'll lead. And one voice should be what the kids hear. If we are going to be interacting with the student when they're escalated, we really need to narrate for them. We need to say, you know, I'm going to come closer to you, or I'm actually going to put my hand on your shoulder, and let them know that you're doing that before you do that. Even though they may know you and they may know that's something that helps them, that would be important. Some of you also do squeezes because kids do like that sensory. And so letting them know, I'm going to give you squeezes. I'll start at your shoulders. I'm going down to your hands, just giving them that heads up that you're going to do that. And really, we also want to make sure we have their permission and their consent for that. So be thinking about that. There are two phrases that I want to make sure we're all using, and many of you have heard me use this. Give space. Give space means we're going to give distance to the student who's escalated. 6 feet. That's probably the best. There's research around that, giving them space. 6 feet for them to be escalated doesn't feel like pressure, doesn't feel like you're coming in on them, and it gives them that moment to hopefully regulate or to figure out how to calm themselves to say what they need. That's one of them. That includes those of you that are right response trained. If you're in a hold or an escort and you realize it's not the right thing to be doing, or it's not going well, it's okay for the lead person to say give space. And actually anyone in that circumstance who needs space should say give space, and then everyone carefully lets the child go safely and then backs up for 6 feet. The other one is eyes on. On the radio, we're going to use that phrase, eyes on. We have some 4-year-olds joining us. I will tell you Aurora's big adventure on Monday, so I hope you can come on Monday and hear that story. But when we say eyes on, it just means we need to get eyes on that child and follow them wherever they are going. And so make sure that that's a phrase that you're familiar with. And really just emphasizing the calm voice. Calmer voices, calmer kids. So we want to make sure that our soothing voice is there to help the child's nervous system and regulate emotions as well. When we are stressed or when we yell, it causes triggers for children for all kinds of reasons. So we want to make sure we speak calmly. It improves their cooperation, reduces their anxiety, and it really strengthens our connection with them. One of the things I think about all the time is when I'm not calm inside is taking a deep breath, getting down to where the child is, and using that steady, calm, gentle tone. I was thinking about one of our students last spring who's new to us, screaming and yelling in Depot, and just coming over, and I sat on the floor and I didn't say anything right away. And then I kind of interjected in between a scream, I'm going to take a deep breath. You could take a deep breath with me. And then I'm on the floor and I'm saying to him, you're safe. I'm here. And in a minute, we're going to call your dad, because that's what he needed. So thinking about that all the time. Go ahead and talk to one another about some of those reminders and how those feel to you, and what feels like a strength of yours, and what's something that you might want to work on this year. Okay. Right response. I know not all of you are right response trained, but I want to make sure everyone in the room knows this, because we are a team and we're going to help each other. So the first thing is, regardless of whether you're trained or not, we are always there to support each other. And so if there is someone with a student that is totally dysregulated and that child is hurting them, or it looks like they're having a hard time, we want to always do that quick check-in, that eye contact to say, you good, or do you need help? But do not step in, just check with them. They may want you to step in, and then hopefully they'll say that. But for right now, I want you to check in. We also want to make sure that if you are right response trained, you are using the correct restraining protocols and escort protocols. No one who is not right response trained should be putting hands on kids in that way. It's just not a good idea. And really, even right response trained people, we know that a bulk of that training is not to put hands on kids. So it's really about imminent danger for them or for other children if we do that. And we always want to make sure we have a team helping us. So if you know that's going to happen, you want to talk to anybody around you, even the not right response trained people can be there, and you can say, note the time, and then document, take notes about what's happening. That may even include you on your cell phone, just saying, pressing the record button on your cell phone if it's just you by yourself. That way we have documentation. And if you're not right response trained, it's okay for you to be there and to help with those pieces, the time taking, the note taking. That's a really important part of being part of the team, right? Also, for those of you that do right response holds or escorts from time to time, there is a new way to submit the data. You put it in the Informed K-12 system. So you'll go into Informed K-12, you'll find the folder that says Student Restraint and Isolation Incident Report. When you open it, you'll click, it'll have your name and you initiate the form. And you'll see that form. I printed out some copies so you can look at them, but it actually has some built-in supports for us. And one of those is the notification timeline. I expect that anytime there is a right response hold or escort used, you should be notifying me as soon as possible, but really no later than the end of the school day. And if I'm not here, Jordan can be notified. You can also tell Jane and she'll figure out who needs to know. By completing the online form now, it will also send me an email so that I automatically know something has happened. Please don't rely on that as the only way to communicate. Find me 2300, tell Jane, but also then submit the form. Okay, go ahead and take a look at the form and see if you have any questions. Stacy or Kirsten or Jordan can jot down those questions or answer them if they're able to. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you is about the critical debrief. We can do better with this. This is something we can work on this year. The first one is self-reflection. We have a card, a half-sheet card that's laminated that if you don't have a copy of, you can get one from Jordan, Stacy, or Kirsten this morning. But in that self-reflection, it's ability for you to kind of process everything that just happened. Take that time. Ask for 5 minutes. Say you need to do the self-reflection. We will support you. And you go and take that list of questions and ask them to yourself and think about, what did you do? And how was your behavior? And how was your wording? And how was the whole situation for you? And what did you do well? What feels good? What do you want to think about for the next time? That also helps you become more regulated so you can be back strong and ready for the rest of the day. Okay. Also, you have a break card, so please use your break card if you need it. And that doesn't have to be for self-reflection. That can just be to tap out. And then the other one we really want to focus on this year is team reflection. When we have had a situation and a team has been involved, it's really important that you work with each other and do the critical team debrief that has the heart on the other side of the paper with some questions. You can call 2300 and we'll come sort of release you or figure out a way for your team to have some time together. You might do it after school, and worst case scenario, you do it the next morning, but please do not forget that debrief. It's really important we name what we're doing well, and then we also think about what could be improved for any future holds or escorts in that situation. Go ahead and talk to the person beside you. What do you need to think about for the critical debrief? Like, what ideas do you have that we could actually implement to help us do a better job of debriefing and reflecting and then getting back to our self-regulation? Okay. I hope you might have talked about trauma. One of the things that can happen in when there's been a holder, an escort, even if you're not right response trained, but you're part of that with the timekeeping or even you see it, it can be stressful, and that's very normal. And that debrief time helps you to process the trauma as well. So that's an important piece. Okay, some quick updates and reminders. First of all, safety is our #1 priority. And so we are going to need to learn about our students and one another. So as you're working with the students, be sure that you're not just getting to know the one student or two students that you work with, but really reach out and learn about the other kids so you can be a support to them as well. And then learn about one another. What are you good at? What do you feel great about? What might you need help with? Some people just cannot handle the screamers. And when kids are screaming, they're like, oh no, I cannot be here. Some people are really scary to them or frustrating to them when the kids kind of put their arms up or feel like they're going to be harmful. But know yourself and then know your teammates so you can know when you might offer to step in, okay? Also, remember that your self-regulation is super important. And so do what you have to do to make sure that you are your best self for our students. And then it also is important for us to keep growing. So keep growing. It's a good thing. And I made a change. Last spring, we had a student who had a seizure. And unfortunately, that person that was supporting them did not have a radio. And that's because we were sharing radios across quite a few staff members, and no fault of their own, but probably on me. I have decided to purchase radios for every single person who's doing a one-on-one position, regardless of whether it's because a child's autistic, has medical needs. For whatever reason, if the child has a one-on-one, you will have a radio, and it is required. So please have it with you at all times. Make sure you charge it at night, and then use it to call 2300 or the nurses, just letting us know what you need. I'm hoping that makes you feel safer, and I'm hoping that the students feel safer as well. Thank you for that. I really appreciate all of you, and I cannot say enough how excited I am to have our team back together in a little while. Have a great day. Thanks for getting everything ready for our students and for each other. I've missed you. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.